listening to Dudeology, your place for cool stories, awesome stuff, and killer gear. Please like, subscribe, and share on your favorite listening platform. Now sit back and enjoy the show. This episode of Dudeology is brought to you by the Hildervat Obstacle Course Race. In a year where many obstacle course races have had to cancel or push to next year, the Hildervat is here to deliver an action-packed experience for beginners and professional obstacle course racers alike. Check them out at hildervat.com. That is HILDERVAT.com. Now that is complete, how badass is our new intro music? I mean, when you listen to all of the intro musics, and hopefully you guys did not fast forward the intro or you're watching it, it just gets you totally fired up. And Chris, can you play us back real quick?
And I want to give a shout out to musician makers who teach. My son actually teaches my son guitar, and Austin Pillsbury, look him up, did this amazing intro for the Dudeology show. Here we go.
So awesome. You're listening to Dudeology, your place for cool stories, awesome stuff, and killer gear. Please like, subscribe, and share on your favorite listening platform. Now sit back and enjoy the show. This is the best part coming up.
Yeah, check that out. Ready?
That is
so
like
good.
Straight up out of the Scorpions.
Yeah.
Or like Rocky. Like, I mean, it just made me feel, I was like, oh, that's awesome. And this guy kind of went back a couple, probably a few decades, probably a generation before him, to kind of really, hone in some of that guitar, and it just makes you a little fired up. And what else makes you fired up is it's Friday. I love doing shows on Fridays. Absolutely love doing shows on Fridays. Chris, you look happy. All right, you looking like you're happier than a T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and some Welch is great. If you can find out where those lyrics came from, then we got a little special prize for a co-host this afternoon. And we got JR in the studio with us again. JR, waiting by the phone, waiting for you to call him up and tell him that he's not alone. Another lyrical little trivia. So I'm going to let you guys, since you are on the phone lines today, I'm going to let you look that up, and you can use your device. So by the end of the show, if you have an opportunity, do you want that was T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch is great.
Welch is great. Well, so because I've pretty much got AI at my fingertips, I'm going to go ahead and say that was from Notorious B.I.G.
I was Notorious B.I.G.
Big Papa.
I was Notorious, and to me, I was like, I love T-bone steaks. I love cheese eggs. I probably wouldn't put those two items together, maybe.
Steak and eggs is a staple. It's an American staple.
Well, in the song, though, like, it's a frame of reference, right?
Okay.
Frame of reference. In the song...
Take it into context.
In the song, he's talking about, like, being in the club, and I guess he and Sean Puffy Combs, or P. Diddy, are, like, trying to bring, like, some girls back to their place or their apartment, right? And so he says as part of his, like, courting process to one of these girls is that he will take them for a T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. So I don't know if those are. I don't know if any of those are euphemisms for other things, or
probably.
I don't understand the Welch's grape part. I mean, the cheese, eggs, and steak.
Purple drink, maybe. Like
it is.
Could be
purple drink.
Yeah, you would think if it had something in it, it would be like Welch's grape and like Hennessy or Welch's grape, and
maybe it's implied that it's not just Welch's.
Yeah.
Again, having not grown up in the same area that Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie Smalls, aka Notorious B.I.G. Grew up, then maybe I'm not hip on the lingo, right? Maybe I'm not.
I'm definitely not the guy to ask to be hip on the lingo either.
No, but maybe we could. So if anyone would like to either place a comment or send us a message to understand the significance of the reference to T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape.
Yeah, I think the one that's missing though is the cheese eggs. Like the steak is a nice delicacy, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
But the cheese eggs, I don't know.
I think cheese on eggs always adds a little extra.
I get the cheese. It's the eggs then.
Well, listen. Next time, okay, here you go. Hear this. Next time we make dinner for our significant other, right? That's what we serve them.
Just steak,
cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape, and just see what the response is, because it could be awesome, right? We could be totally missing out on something that that we some secret to life or secret to more fruitful relationships or
women love it.
I think
I've got 3 of them in my house. We'll find out.
Yeah. Anybody remember that episode where George Costanza walks into the office and orders a T-bone steak, and then the guy's like, "I'll have a T-bone steak too," and then they start nicknaming the other guy T-bone.
Yes,
and he wanted to be T-bone.
He wanted to be T-bone. He wanted to be
George did, right?
His name T-bone. We've covered this.
We have. It's great.
We've covered this on an episode around probably the 6 to 8, 6 to 9 range of those episode numbers about people naming themselves and kind of getting their name, like, hey, showing up and saying, hey, my name's T-Bone, or in this instance it didn't work. This thing is really uncomfortable.
Yeah, why are you wearing a plate carrier? What? You got like 20 pounds in there.
It's 20 pounds on each side, right? It's forcing me to engage my core.
The Rogue Tech plate carrier is featured on episode 2.
One of these, it is episode 2, Father's Day gift ideas, and it also with Christmas right around the corner. Go back and check that episode if you missed some of those things to get to kid 4. Someone in your life, I think they could also make great Christmas gifts, as well as anything from a Christmas story house and museum. Also makes some great.
I bet you that thing reeks. I mean, I haven't washed that. Ever.
It's pungent, stings the nostrils. It doesn't smell as bad as that sour beer, that
spicy pickle?
Spicy pickle sour beer. That thing smelled disgusting. But you know it's not disgusting, Chris. Tell us for a minute, what did you bring to the studio for us today?
In light of October,
cheers, guys. Cheers.
Halloween, I saw the Bat Squatch Hazy IPA and had to get it. The can itself is just pretty cool. What do you think, guys?
It's really good.
It is
good.
It's really good. You roll the dice. Again, when you try something like this or try one of these new beers, because you're like, man, it could taste awesome, or someone could have had the great idea to put something like arugula and ginger in it, it's your liver taste or something, and it's going to taste like ass. But this is actually this is pretty tasty. So this thing, I've been sitting around having a lot of these kind of remote type meeting things all week, so I haven't been active, and I was like, maybe I'm going to just wear this around, and I was thinking maybe I'll just wear this plate, we used to call it a flat vest, but this is like plate carrier, I guess is the name. Maybe I'll just wear it around, and I'll go to the grocery store and like walking the dog, and then I thought to myself, like, if I saw somebody doing that, I'd want to punch them in the face, just because it's just a really like DB level thing. I don't know. It's just like so. Like, hey, look at me. Look, I'm so awesome. I'm plate carrier. I'm skating. I'm extreme. I'm extreme. So it made me think. Like, is there anything that people do so annoying that you want to punch them in the face? We're not advocating punching people in the face that makes you want to punch them. We believe real dudes have self-control and don't do that. But I think it's okay to sometimes be like, punch that guy in the face.
Well, that reminds me of I think it's Jordan Peterson who said it. Is that you can't be a pacifist unless you're capable of great violence. If you're not capable of great violence, then you're just weak. So, you need to be capable of punching somebody in the face, and wanting to punch somebody in the face is good. You just shouldn't do it.
Right. You should redirect, right? Kind of redirect that energy.
I mean, I get a little upset when the guy walking his dog lets him poop in my yard and he doesn't pick it up. I could probably punch that guy in the face.
Yeah.
But I could probably also just go pick it up.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But that's kind of like,
at least say something to
him.
Like, hey, dude, like, not cool, man. Or hey, I gotta, you could do the passive aggressive, like, hey, I got a bag in here if you need one.
Yeah.
That's kind of the.
Exactly. Hey, I got a bag.
I got a bag. And then if he just waves us, no, I'm good, and keeps walking.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen this article about this study on 1 in 5 college students supporting punching people in the face, basically, to stop campus speech that's offensive to them? How
are words hurting people?
I don't know. I kind of feel like that's a bit aggressive.
What's not aggressive though? Because you bring up a good point. It's kind of what's it called when you say something but you do something else? What's the term I'm looking for?
Contrary.
Yeah, it was contrary.
Contradictory.
Yeah, but you're being a
hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Yes.
Hypocrite. So it's hypocritical because you're saying free speech unless it's
offensive to me.
And
it only goes one way for them.
Yeah, but then to take it a level and say you should be able to punch people.
Well, they use the word violence, and maybe more than punching.
And then I wonder if those people are capable of great violence.
I think this is a group of 1 in 5 students that we would consider snowflakes.
Yes,
a special snowflake even.
Yeah,
rainbow, Skittles.
Now, would you punch me in the face if I took this and just like shot you right in the vest?
No, because you're my friend.
Okay.
I would be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? That's like not cool. But also, I do trust this equipment. And again, we wouldn't recommend it on episode 2 if we didn't trust that it could stop the Red Ryder BB gun. I would be more concerned that it would ricochet and mess up the studio,
or shoot my own eye out.
That would be pretty funny. That would be like hysterical.
That'd be ironic.
But we'd laugh, but we would be like, while we were laughing, we'd also take steps to
also kids at home don't point a gun at
don't point guns,
not even a BB gun.
And don't be a snowflake. And that's the thing. It kind of ties into kind of what we're here to talk about today a little bit, and some really, really exciting, cool stuff going on. But I was having a conversation the other day and talking about like snowflake and everything. And when you look at like risks to society in general, okay, if you really think about it, I think we're probably like one generation away from going totally soft, which is a lot scarier to me than a virus that we'll get a vaccine for, or an election that's going to happen regardless. All these things that we look at like right now. Oh, I'm so scared. Like, what's scary to me is people who can't, who when faced with things like the Great Depression or World War II or 9/11, aren't equipped to solve that problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or they say, "Hey, government, solve this problem for me."
Look to someone else to solve it for them. So when we think of things like being a soft generation, but that's on us, right? We talked about that. Get your hands dirty. If you have another generation that you have influence over, we probably all have influence over with someone. Do things that are hard. Manufacture some hard things to do. Go manufacture some hard things to do. I was thinking that it would be cool to have like we used to have this thing called the expert infantry badge. Like, it was this thing that was an award you got, but you had to go through like 30 different like courses for your job. And it was over a 3-day period, and it was like a ruck march. In the end, you had to take apart your M16 and function, but it had like landmines. It had all these things. You went to these little stations, and once you got it, you were like an instructor for it. It was really neat. It happened twice a year. It was really cool. It was kind of a big deal in our job to get that. And I was thinking, what if Dudeology show had like the 12 cool things, 12 basic dude thing competition, where it was like, I don't know, change a tire, field dress, just a band, stop bleeding, just basic stuff that you should know.
Inflict a wound.
No, not inflict a wound. Well, maybe it would be. Throw an axe, shoot an arrow. Just these kind of random things that we could do. It would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like a dude rite of passage or something.
Yeah, well, it'd be cool. We could make our own little badge and pound it into people.
A talisman.
I like that. Yeah.
You mean pound it into their chest?
Yes, exactly. So
a brand.
A brand. we could brand people. In fact, we could brand whoever.
Hey, who wants to be the first Dudeology fan to get branded with?
So we've got a lot of giveaways today, right? We've got we got the Great Welch's cheese eggs T-bone steak. If you can let us know the significance of that, we'll give you some cool Dudeology stuff, some killer gear. We'll make sure you get some sort of killer gear. If you would like to volunteer to be the first one to have the Dudeology logo branded on yourself, so it's better than a tattoo because it's actually scarred, like a bubbly scar.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it.
You get rid of it for your entire life. So those are two things. We got another one coming up, which is going to be super cool. But I think the reason that, going back to wanting to punch people in the face, right, is that like medically or whatever you want, dudes have a lot of testosterone.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of, and not enough. We probably don't do enough things throughout our week or our day, a lot of us, to get it out. Okay, so to get it out, we look at things like the Hildervat, which would be a totally cool thing to train for and to kind of get that testosterone, working out, obviously having sex in a committed relationship at least 3 to 4 times a week, key, right? Because we're always doing these things all day to add testosterone. Right. Steak, eating T-bone steaks, eating the cheese eggs. Not sure about the Welch's.
It's probably not good.
All things that are awesome. So let's get into what we've been working on. And many of you have seen the most recent video we posted on YouTube. If you haven't, go back and check out the most recent video we posted on YouTube. And it's about a pretty kick-ass top secret black op that we've been working on. And today, you'll be the first listeners to learn about it. And we've been planning, over the last several, like 6 weeks?
Yeah.
6 weeks probably?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And we are going to launch this proof of concept, invite-only endurance eco challenge, aka an adventure race, aptly known the Dudeodyssey. So before we get into the race itself, you guys want to chat about kind of adventure racing in general and what you guys know about it?
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, I think I first learned about adventure racing from you and John. And then I started watching the Bear Grylls adventure race in Fiji, that eco challenge over 11 days. And I just thought that was super awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think the idea came to both of us almost at the same time. It was like a light bulb moment when we did a workout that involved traversing different places and doing different things. And it brought together the guys, and everybody was really excited about it. We're like, hey, let's make one of these, but make it like way longer and way harder.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about them too is like, back to the on Amazon Prime, it's the world's toughest race, I believe it's called, the Bear Grylls adventure race. It's a great show, by the way. You want to talk about like endurance and grueling, what these teams are doing, it's phenomenal. But then you find out that these have been going on for like years, like 30, 40 years. They've been almost, now Ironman was kind of fringe for a while, and then it got mainstream. They've been kind of fringe for a while, and then you start looking into an adventure race, and it's primarily endurance based. Right, so they're going to be links. Some of them are 18 kilometers. Some of them are, I don't know, 24 to 48 hour, hundreds of kilometers. Right, but it's cool because it's that there's a biking element. There's typically some sort of waterborne element, like a canoe or a kayak or a paddleboard, maybe even a swim in some instances. And then what really again engaged me was that orienteering or that land navigational kind of thing, using the compass, using the map, going back to like basic dude skills, is being able to look at a map and figure out where you are and where you need to go, and doing that without Google Maps or Waze or whatever it is. So that was kind of the cool thing, that they've been around a while, and I'm like, there's none around here. Like, why do we never, or if they are, you never hear about them. Like, they're not promoted or advertised enough.
Yeah, I think it's just another area where we can really put something out there for dudes to be able to do and test their skills. You've got Spartan races and Hildervats and Tough Mudders, Savage races, Go Ruck events. But the adventure race in itself is something that is completely different. Like you said, Ironmans, they're all challenging in different ways. The adventure race, I think, is cool because you're doing it as a team. So that's a neat aspect of it.
Yeah, and I think it's got like a mental challenge a little bit to it. If you're having to figure out where you are on a map, or hey, who should, okay, we got a 2-person kayak, who sits in the front, who sits, like you're trying to, again, to your point, the team, you're figuring that out kind of on your own. I mean, you look at a set of monkey bars, you're like, okay, there's one way across those.
Right.
Now, you're in an adventure race, and I say, the instructions are start at point A and get to point B. There's a lot of ingenuity that can go into that. Muscling through it, absolutely, that's a strategy. Maybe there's a different ways to look at it. Sure, absolutely. How would you train for one of these, John? This kind of falls into your wheelhouse. If our listeners out there, and there are probably some folks that are going to be interested in doing this, we're looking at December 6th. Looking at December 6th. So we're probably at, 6 weeks out on that? Is that right? 6 weeks out?
6 weeks.
Yeah. So what should folks do to get ready for it?
Yeah, well, can we spill the beans and talk about what it is that's going to be tested?
Yeah, let's go back. So the name, we'll start with the name, is the Dudeodyssey. And
go to Google right now. Type in Dudeodyssey. It will be the first thing that pops up the promo video.
Dudeodyssey. So we're all familiar probably with the Odyssey, which means basically like adventure or crazy, and it's kind of back from
Odysseus.
Odysseus. Yeah, Homeric. What they call them, epic poems or something. The Iliad and the Odyssey. So Odysseus leaves Troy and spends 10 years basically Odysseying. Can you use it as a Odyssey verb? Sure.
I don't see why
we created Dudeology and Dudeodyssey.
We also created getting
RFID
and RFID.
Just add it to our.
We'll not be RFIDing people for this. Yeah. So it's the Odyssey. That's where that came from. So you guys talk about what exactly that's going to entail.
Yeah. So Dudeodyssey is going to begin with a 2.5 mile run, followed by a 4 mile ruck. So the racers will pick up a ruck after the 2.5 mile run. They will rucksack through the jungle, or as close to a jungle as you can find in Northeast Florida. I'd consider it a jungle. It's
There are lots of bugs.
Yeah, there's a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
Potential wildlife.
There's a lot of bugs. There's boars, armadillos, probably some snakes.
Maybe a cougar.
There could be a cougar.
Bobcat. Definitely a bobcat.
Yeah.
Definitely bobcat.
They're out there. You just might not see
If
them.
not, we should put some out there.
That we should.
Yeah.
We should definitely put some out there.
We should. So there's a general path that they're going to be going on, but there's different ways to go. Dudeodyssey officials have not said that you have to take a specific path. You just have to go from point A to point B. Point B being the Nakati kayak paddle launch, where you will pick up a watercraft and kayak or paddle or canoe. What is the set distance that we say?
About 3 miles.
3 miles.
But it's kind of an across around. Well, I mean, you can go around it where you want, but
Right.
That's the it'll be across a channel, right? There won't be. Should be pretty protected once you get over there.
Yeah. So you'll do the watercraft, come back, hop on a bike, and then what is it to finish off, a 12-mile bike?
Yeah, something like that.
We're
We're looking at about a 30K,
Mhm.
maybe 19 miles or so. And, at some of these, at each checkpoint that you get to when you're changing events, there will be some sort of challenge. Not undetermined at this point and not to be told until day of the race. But it might be physical challenge, mental challenge. It may be finding something. But there definitely will be, at each checkpoint, something that you have to bring with you.
Yeah. So as far as training for the race goes, so this is kind of like a war of attrition, right? You just got to be tough. Elements are going to be wearing on you. The actual physical tests are going to be wearing on you. Mentally, it's going to be wearing on you. It's just about being tough for as long as you can. Specifically, I would focus on the ruck. I think if you can get good at carrying a weight for an extended amount of time, that's going to carry over. The only technical skill part is going to be the watercraft. So if you want to either find a kayak or a canoe or a stand-up paddleboard or whatever it is that you're going to use for the race, practice that for sure. I think that's the only one that people might have trouble with. If you haven't been on a bike in a while, it may be a good time to get on a bike. But I think from a physical fitness standpoint, you're going to want to be rucking. That's going to be the longest time domain.
Okay, and also basically all endurance-based stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some. Well, what would you get to better at rowing? You'd row, right? I mean,
whatever you want to get better at, you just need to do more of it. Yeah, you want to simulate that stimulus.
And I feel like that is kind of similar to a bike. Most of us learn how to ride a bike when we're 6, 7, 8, whatever. And you're rusty. Like, you're rusty. Like, most people probably have paddled some sort of watercraft at some point, and it's just you're being rusty.
Yeah.
It's like anything. You just got to kind of get back. And it'll be interesting to see, though, because it's a team thing. And paddling is a very in sync kind of thing. I was out with my family in Colorado this summer, and the guy, this is our family on the boat, the guy's like, paddle, we were trying to turn the boat and do something, I don't know, and I'm just like, just getting after it, and she's like, hey Dad, the guide's like, you may want to, like, you're doing a lot of work, but you're way out of sync with everyone. So I was just thinking, like, I'm just going to muscle through this, wasn't paying attention to the other boatmates, who happen to be my family, and thinking, like, getting in sync, you generate more power. So I think that's going to be a challenging thing for a lot of dudes.
Yeah,
I really do. I really do. Because
you're going to want to pull the same water. So if you're pulling water at different times, you're not pulling. You want to pull at the same time essentially.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting that you after running 2.5 miles and rucking 4 miles, then getting in a boat and sitting down, getting out of that boat. How tight are you going to be to get on the bike? Then have to book it, 10 miles.
Yeah, and anything that's going to be this long, so it's going to take 3 to 4 hours, I reckon, around there to finish. You're going to want to fuel, so you definitely want to take some goos, some liquids, and if you haven't exercised for that long, or at least just standing for 3 to 4 hours, is going to be a task in and of itself. So definitely get out and do a long workout, go for a long ruck, mix it up.
So maybe if you are seen with a weight plate carrier around,
you're actually training for the race right now.
You won't get punched because you're training.
Keep your core tight.
Tell people you're training for Dudeodyssey.
Don't have that posture.
Training for Dudeodyssey. Exactly. Training for Dudeodyssey. What are you guys most excited about then for this thing?
I'm excited to see people get after it, and I like seeing people achieve something that is meaningful to them. I think guys in their life, dudes in their life, it's really hard to measure output in some of the ways that they care about. Like, it's hard to measure output at work sometimes. It's hard to measure output as a husband. It's hard to measure output as a father. But, like, when it comes to a physical task and you just finish and you're totally drained and you left it all out there, like, it just feels really good to get that feedback. Like, that was legitimately all that I can do. So I'm excited to see people finish the race and have that, smile that comes along with being proud that you accomplished something.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I'm excited to see people really do something that's adventurous. You can do an Ironman and it's just purely physical and mental and just battling through, but this is an adventure. I mean, you don't know exactly where you're going. And I think that's really critical for men to have adventure in their life and to do something like that. So I think that's what I'm most excited to see, guys getting out there. And then secondly, that all the proceeds of this race are going to be going to charity.
Yeah, that's always cool. We kind of talked about that earlier. We're going to keep this as an invitational initially, because one thing we want to do it really well. The way we talked about is we're going to try to bring something that's kind of not in the mainstream. When you think of racing, the 5K, maybe some obstacle course, maybe some mud runs. We're going to take something that's really not mainstream. We're going to bring it to an audience of guys and girls that are going to see that. Wow, I'm glad I was exposed to that, right? With the hopes that they're going to then expose their families or their kind of natural networks, right? We all have these like natural organic networks that we're part of, to other things, because it's really neat, right? And we go back to grittiness. We go back to dirt. We go back to having 50% of the information you need in order to solve the problem. But you don't have 100%. So you have to be resilient. You have to be come up with some ingenious solutions. So that's what I'm most excited about. Is your point. It's just to bringing it to kind of opening people's eyes to, wow, this was cool, and this is in our backyard, and if it compels people to say, hey, the next time we do this, I'm going to bring my son or my daughter with me, and we're going to do it as a team, or I'm going to bring my neighbors, or kind of expand it a little bit. That's what I'm kind of excited about. Awesome. A couple things, and we have done invite only, but I think this is pretty cool, and this is going to be something that the third is trifecta day. The third thing that we're going to
generous.
give away on the show. We're giving away a lot of things.
Oprah.
By the way, on the show.
I mean, you're only giving it away to the people who make it to this part of the show and listen this far.
Yes.
So
there's thousands of them.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Should we make them wait longer?
Should we just sit here and stare at it? You know what? I mean, it is, but I really want another one of these Bat Squatches, so it's pretty good. The Bat Squatch by Rogue Brewery out of Oregon, so that traveled quite a ways to get to us, let's say.
West Coast Hazy IPA.
West Coast Hazy IPA, yes. Interesting.
I know you're an East Coast Hazy IPA fan, but we went...
New England Hazy, but I guess it's... And it tastes kind of the same. I don't know if I could... My palate's that refined yet.
Yeah. What is the beer equivalent of like a sommelier that's really good with wine?
His name's Tim Brack.
Beerologist.
Like a hipster?
A beerologist. Yes.
A beerologist?
Yes. It's
do they have the same training?
I think Tim needs a few more years on his beard.
That's it. It would be equitable to the length of the beard, and the
knowledge grows with the beard,
the tightness of the jeans,
and the flannel, the thickness of the flannel.
The thickness of the flannel. So let's do this then. Let's give away some more free shit then. We are giving away the. We haven't even said what we're giving away for the Welch's Great cheese, eggs, T-bone steak thing.
What exactly do they need to do? Give us the context of what that means.
You need to type in a message, and it can either be a comment on YouTube or it can be on Instagram or Facebook. When we post this episode, you need to say, here's basically what that means, frame of reference, right? Like here's why that would be.
And it could be
awesome.
Exactly what the true reference is, or the funniest story as to what it's referring to.
Or you could even make some stuff up, and we're probably not going to fact check it.
Yeah, we won't fact check it.
And you can just
What do you mean? Everything on social media is fact checked these days.
Twitter will do it for us.
Fake news. It will not be. No fake news in the Dudeology.
Politico fact.
So that was the first thing. Did I already forget the second thing? What's the second thing we're giving away? What was it? There was one other thing we were going to give something away.
How did we already forget?
Was it the lyric for...
No, that was just you.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that was.
Miserably. I'm glad you're manning the phones. I'm glad nobody's calling in.
I turned my phone off.
We're going to have to re-listen to the episode.
And let you know what the second... But the most, by far, the coolest one, right, is the last one. And that is, once we post this, okay, you are going to see like the little post, and it'll be on Instagram and it'll be on Facebook. What you do is you like it, and then you tag it. Whoever tags the most amount of people in this post, you can like and you share and tags. We'll leave these instructions on all our social media outlets. We'll get a free entry, a single entry into the Dudeodyssey. that covers everything. That's going to cover your watercraft rental. That will cover all the swag. That will cover your donation towards the charity, which we're going to be revealing here in the next couple weeks. So you get a free entry, one free entry, and then you'll be partnered with. If you have someone you want to do it with, have them contact us. We could probably work something out to get you guys a team. But it's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm excited just to see. It's just cool creating stuff and making it happen.
Yeah, well, the Dudeology show, now known as Dudeology, the brand, is doing adventure races now, and we've got something else up our sleeve that we'll be talking about on a future show. Yep. But this is the movement, and everything we talked about today is some good action. So everything we want to do is about making men better for themselves, for their families, for society. And so join the movement.
Join the movement. Easiest way to do it is to like it, share it, subscribe to it, do all things, and then go find your buddies and get outdoors this weekend. Yeah. Go get dirty. Mm-hmm. All right, get after it.
Absolutely. Put it into action.
All right, good action. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Dudeology. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. For a full library of shows and more information about Dudeology, check us out on social media at Dudeology Show or dudeologyshow.com.